Well, hey crafty friends, it's Hiedi Scott with DiyDreaming. I am so excited to show you guys how to make tree toppers using sheet music, paper plates, a little glitter, some glue of your preference. I'm using Mod Podge, and a hot glue gun. So it's gonna, oh, and also a Dollar Tree wooden shape of your preference. So it's gonna be really fun. There's so many different things that you could do with this idea. So I hope you'll really like it. I hope you'll try it. And if you like the idea of it, please feel free to sprinkle, to ask questions along the way, all that good stuff. Okay, so let's start at the very beginning. I'm going to show you some tree toppers that I've made in the past years, and then I'm going to show you how to actually get started. Okay, so this, I can't remember which one of these two were tree toppers from last year. It was one of these. I wish I could remember. They're very similar. They're both made with kind of a creamy colored sheet music. They both have silver glitter on them, and they both have a Dollar Tree snowflake wooden shape in the center that is glittered, okay? This one has long spokes and short spokes, and this one has a combination, which is what we're gonna probably do today, okay? They're both built on paper plates. So those are a couple, and then I have this one that I made a few years ago. It's also built on a paper plate. I use a lot of paper plates around here. And this one is more of a fan shape. And at the very bottom, to cover the inside, I just used some jute. So I can tell you the idea of doing this one, but what we're gonna be doing is really more the other style. I also got this out because I wanted to show it to you. This was a fun wreath that I built, on a Dollar Tree wreath form. Completely same concept of rolling up pieces of paper. These were vintage Reader's Digest pages, glittered in silver glitter, and just kind of loosely piled on here. So there's, oh my gosh, there are a million different things that you can do with sheet music. Like just recently, 2 Sundays ago, during Christ and Crafting, we made this, and I also made this to follow up. It's not quite finished. Oh my word. This was another thing that I made not too long ago with just some sheet music decoupage on the inside of this frame. This was another Christ and Crafting that I did, maybe a month and a half ago. And I have a lot of paper crafts, a lot of sheet music and vintage paper crafts, because I love working with those. Okay, so let's start at the very beginning. I am using this. It's a big book of sheet music that my friend Diane's son, Willie, used when he played the trumpet in high school. And she was going to donate it, and she remembered that I love working with sheet music, so she offered me this book, and I said, yes! And what I did was, this is one of those books where you can actually just rip the pages out. Sometimes you have to use a X-Acto knife to get them out. But basically, I just took out some pages. That's step number 1. Let's see how many people are on here. 190 something. Okay, and then I pretty much always do this. I cut the margins off this part. I think they just look nicer when you do. And it's easier to cut it off before you start rolling and gluing. Because it's going to be all rolled up, it really does not matter if you cut a perfectly straight line. Okay, so let me get these out of here. All right, so this is what I have. I left the bottom on. We could cut that off too, but it really doesn't matter. Let's go ahead and cut that off. Okay, and then with this size of paper, I'm going to cut it in half up the middle. That way you can make double the amount of rolls in half amount of paper. So I'll set this back in the book. I know I'll use it for something else. All right, and then the next thing you're going to do is put all of your music so it's facing the same direction so that these little symbols are all on the right hand side and everything's up. And then just to make it easier to roll these, I'm going to go ahead and just kind of give them a little shape right now. They're easier to roll like this and get them bent a little bit when you have a bunch of pages in it and it's kind of stiff. I need a paper cutter. I do actually have one. It's just, it's not handy. It's in the basement from when I used to do a ton of scrapbooking. Okay, so now our paper all has a slight bend to it. Okay, then the next thing you're gonna do is you're just gonna start rolling your tubes. And I'm used this year for this project, I can't remember what I used last year. I'm just putting a little bead of this low temperature hot glue. This is my Surebonder low temperature hot glue gun. I'm just putting it along the edge here. Can you see that? And then I'm just gonna close them up. Hey, I just got this shirt out of my closet. Do you guys remember when we made it last year? It says Grateful, Thankful, Blessed. It's really more of a Thanksgiving style of a stencil. It's from magnoliadiy.com. But when I did it on this red shirt and then I did the leopard cuffs, it kind of reminds me of Christmas. So I put it on for this video because we're doing everything in red. And this just gave me the Christmas mood. Okay, so, and you'll see that you can seriously whip out a ton of these in no time at all. So let me get another, and I'm actually using the Surebonder clear glue stick mini size that goes with my, this is high-low, but it works with my low temperature hot glue gun. And you can get glue on your hands, so I think this is a good project to use a low temperature glue gun for. Judy says she was just about to ask me about my shirt. I wish I could remember where I actually got the shirt. I think I got it last year at Target, I think. But the great thing about this is that usually after you wash a shirt a few times, the sleeves are way too short, but this one hasn't seemed to do that. So I would buy some more of these if I could find them, because I love doing long sleeve shirts where you can do something cute on the wrists. So you get the gist of this. It takes absolutely no time at all. Okay, I want to do just a couple. You know what? I think you get the idea of how that part is done. Okay, then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to make the base for our Christmas tree topper. And if I was selling these, which I'm not, I don't sell anything that I make, I would probably choose something a little more professional to adhere my spokes to, but a paper plate works just fine. So I'm going to cut off just where the bend starts. And I'm sure there's other crafters out there making Christmas tree toppers. This is just how I did it. So I don't know. I'm sure there's other ways to do it. Okay, and then the first thing I did was I took my little pieces of music and I cut them in half. Okay, let's do that. I cut them roughly in half. Doesn't have to be exact. And it is easier to glue them first than to cut them in half because that's less tubes you have to roll if you do it that way. Okay, and now we're gonna glitter them. So I have a little bowl that I'm pouring some Mod Podge in. You could use white school glue, Elmer's glue. You could use some of this stuff. This Eileen's tacky glue. Whatever you have handy. And then I'm using this glitter. I don't know where it came from. It's red. Last year I did all silver. And so I just poured some in a bowl. And let's see. I need a plate to put these on. Okay, so I think you can see everything I have going on here. Okay, so then I'm gonna make sure I'm going the correct direction. So everything's aimed the same direction. And I'm just gonna dip my little tube in the Mod Podge and then dip it in the glitter. And this part you can also whip out very quickly. So I know someone will ask me, how many pages does it take? And I know someone will ask me, where did I get my sheet music? So let me answer those questions right now. I don't know how many pages it takes because it totally depends on how you make yours, but I would guess that if you had 20 or 25 pages, that you could probably make a Christmas tree topper. This particular music was given to me by a friend whose son was in band in high school. So maybe you have had a student in band or a student that took piano music or something like that. You can use that kind of music. I have purchased a lot of it at thrift stores and garage sales. So just ask around. Worst case scenario, you could possibly buy some on Etsy, but I know it would be way more expensive. And my guess is that if you just ask around in your circle, you'll find somebody who had a piano, a trumpet, a guitar student, anyone who did a chorus, anyone who did any kind of music might still have their music hanging around. Thank you, Kathy. She says, darling shirt. This is my favorite part, is the cuffs. Yeah, so this is a stencil from magnoliadiy.com that says grateful, thankful, blessed, and then it has this wreath. And I used black ink. And this is a t-shirt from last year that I've worn. I wore it last winter a few times and I've just got it out of my closet. This is made with the leopard stencil and the black ink from magnoliadiy.com. Yep. And when you heat set them, they're permanent. So it can be washed and dried and all that good stuff. All right, so before I came live, I got my little spokes wheel started. And I want to tell you how to do that. Okay, I'm going to do the clock. First I put on 12, and then I put on 6. So top and bottom. And then I did 3 and 9. And then I just did a couple in between each. And this is how you start building it. And this part under here can be as messy as you want because it's gonna all be covered up. So this is the start of our little tree topper. Okay, so now we're just going, I did a whole bunch of these before I came live so that I'd be all ready to go. And let's start with these right here. These ones that we just did are wet, so we won't use those. Is this the dry one? Yes. Let's see, where can I put this? All right, what you're gonna wanna do is pinch one end of your tube down flat, and then you're just gluing it down using hot glue. So now I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna start filling in. And on this outside row, I pinched them all so that you could see this. But going for the next rows, I'm gonna pinch them down flat so that you just see the music, okay? And we're gonna do a couple of rows for this one. So I'm just gonna put some glue on, and I'll start gluing. Is this one wet? Yes, this one is still wet. Maybe this is the last ones that I did, and they're a little bit wetter than these ones. Okay. So the total cost for this project is some paper. Oh, these are shorter. Some, a paper plate, some glitter. I think I do want these ones since these are a little bit longer. Some glitter. And it's just a super affordable craft. Okay, so can you see how I'm just building a whole nother row? It is a little bit time consuming to put this, to assemble it. And there are going to be 10 million glue strings everywhere. Looking for my longer ones. So what do you guys think so far? As soon as I get this row of spokes on, I will lift it up and show you. I'm so sorry. I have my phone on Do Not Disturb, and for some reason it just let that call through. I don't know why. Okay. So now our tree topper is starting to take some shape. Now let's compare with the ones from last year. This one, I would be almost done because I only did 2 rows, and I did a long and then a short, okay? But I'm making this one fuller. And this one, I only have 2 rows on this one as well, but I alternated long, medium, long, medium, long, medium on the outside spoke, and then on the inside spoke, I did all short. So, just for comparison, and you can do this however you want. Okay, so let's come back and let's add 1 more row, and I'm gonna really, really glue things down at this point. And I'm just sort of, no reason, just randomly placing these on here. And I have 2 ideas for the center that I'll show you. One of them involves an embroidery hoop, so stay with me. Which I do have some embroidery hoop ornaments that I made this year. So I think it could be cute, and it might just complete the whole look of my tree. It might make it, the whole thing make sense. If I did that, I used that one. So you can see that I'm just building one more row. I'm really using a good amount of glue. My glue gun needs to heat up a minute. So while I'm letting this get warm again, did you guys see yesterday? We made some adorable ornaments using, these are arabesque kitchen backsplash tiles. And then we used the Christmas minis from magnoliadiy.com. I can get you a link to these stencils and chalk paste if you would like. That was one. Here was another one that we made. It says let it snow. And then here was another one that I made just going the opposite direction. Holly Jolly. Aren't those cute? I mean, these are seriously kitchen tiles that you buy in a package. I got mine at Lowe's, but you can get the same kind of idea at any hardware store. Ace Hardware, Home Depot. You could probably even order these on Amazon. I'll show you what the package looked like. While I'm waiting for my glue gun to get hot again. Okay, so this is what it looked like. Satori is the brand that I had. And then they come like this. And they're on this mesh. And you literally just pull them off, clean them with rubbing alcohol, stencil them with chalk paste, and then spray them with a clear matte sealer. And then I used E6000 to attach the back. So if you missed that video, it's here in my video feed. And you should be able to watch it at any time. It'll be there, as far as I know, until Facebook isn't a thing anymore. So, okay, so let's hope that this is dry. Or hot again, I mean. I am still doing some fall crafts, in case you're wondering. I'm not 100% Christmas yet. And also I'm still doing some crafts that are not related to any particular season. So don't worry if you're thinking, man, all she's doing is Christmas, because I'm really not. I have a lot of different things happening. Okay, so I think I've pretty much gone all the way around. They're not all exactly evenly spaced, but this is what we have, and it looks terrible until we move on to the next step. All right, so let me see where that could use some. Could flip it over and look and see. I think it's pretty okay in terms of how everything is attached. Okay, so then the next thing is you can decide what do you want to have as your center. And there's a couple things you could do. Before I came live, I took this shape from Dollar Tree. It's the shape of an ornament. And I painted it just with some of this Waverly acrylic paint from Walmart in crimson. And then I sprinkled some of this same red glitter on it while it was still wet. And that is what you get. So I could attach that on here. And that could be the centerpiece. But what I was thinking I might like better was to use an embroidery hoop. Okay, so we're using these teeny tiny little, is it 3 inch? Let's see. It's a 4-inch embroidery hoop. Came from, there you go. These came from Walmart. They were like $1.50 a piece or something. And then I'm gonna use some of my red ticking fabric, and let me push this over here for just a second. I'll show you how to build the back too, so don't leave yet. Okay, so we need, I really should have ironed this before I was doing it, but oh well. Okay, so then the other thing I did was before I came live, I put some Mod Podge on the rim of this embroidery hoop, and I sprinkled the same glitter on it. And I'm going to, oh, I almost glittered it shut. Let's see, how do I want this to run? I think I want it to run with the pattern. I can come back and adjust some of that. So let's cut this out. Trim this off just a little bit so it doesn't show. Okay. And then I could add our ornament on top of that if I wanted. Or something smaller like, actually I think something like a glittered red snowflake, or a glittered Santa Claus shape, or even a glittered Mary. These are all shapes from Dollar Tree. I think I want to do this one, but maybe in a little bit smaller size. Let's see. That one is broken. Or I could do a Christmas stocking. Nope, too big. I think this is what we'll end up doing, which I'll show you how to glitter it, but I'll probably glue it on after everything's all said and done. So that's what that will look like. And this will just be glued and press down good in the center of my tree topper with the glittered snowflake in the center. And let me show you how to create the back of this. So on these other ones, really all I did was cut a paper plate that kind of forms a loop, and then I just glued 2 edges of it. Same deal with this one right here. It's a little more scrunched down. And then this just slides over the top of your Christmas tree. So let's do that. And a paper plate that doesn't have a whole bunch of paint or something on it. Let's take this one. Now, I'm sure there's a much more professional way to do this, but I'm one of those people that I just like to use what I have whenever possible. And so why not make a tree topper out of a paper plate? I can't really see any reason why we shouldn't. So I will just be gluing this on like this. Let's see what I'm doing. Need to let that cool and dry just a little bit before I push it up to create a loop. And then we're gonna do this next. So stay with me. Oh, and I wanna show you guys where I am with my gingerbread house. This is gonna go on my Christmas tree as well. And I've also ordered the little gingerbread people. They're not here yet, but it should be adorable. So I'll show you that in just a second too. This part seriously is not going to be seen by anyone. So don't worry if it looks terrible. You'll know it's there, but you'll be the only one. And I'll probably take my heat gun to this whole project just to dissolve some of the strings. You can see there's a spot where I have some glitter on the front of one of the little spokes. I'll clean that up, but here is our tree topper loop. Easy, easy. And we could even just do this in red. So let's glitter that and look at it, and then we'll see if we want to do it on top of this. All right, so I'm just going to get a cruddy paintbrush of some sort, a little one. When I was doing the silver snowflakes, I didn't paint them silver first, but I think to have the solid red look, you do need to paint them red first. So that's what I'm doing. Okay, I'm gonna lay it down and do that last little bit. Okay, and then we are just going to sprinkle some red glitter on it while the paint is still wet. You can do this same idea when you're using stencils and chalk paste. You can just sprinkle glitter over the top of your chalk paste while it's still wet, and it will stick to it, and you can get the same kind of effect with that. So there we go. Pretty, huh? All right, and I'm going to save all this glitter because why would I waste it? So I'm just gonna fold my paper plate in half, like a little siphon. And put all that back in there. Okay, and this, oh, I do see a spot where I probably knocked that glitter off myself handling it. Put a little bit more right here. And I'll let that dry before I handle it again. So here is our tree topper. It just needs to be cleaned up a little bit. What do you guys think? Do you want to see the gingerbread house I've been working on? Okay, here it is. So I'm doing this railing just by freehand. I painted some snow going up the steps and drew the steps over the top of it to the door. I will come back now and add another window on this side and finish the, on this side, finish the little banister. And then we'll come back and we'll do little, probably some little snow and snowflakes like we did with this one. We might add some, I don't know, some other little doodads. I'll probably paint in these little green circles with some more chalk paste. And then when it comes time for my tree, I'll just drill a hole in this. And this will be one of those great big ornaments, some prominent, I'll have two of them, some prominent place on the Christmas tree, and it'll be adorable. And when I'm all finished with it, I'll give it a good coat of clear matte sealer. So there you go. That's everything I have going on for Christmas. I don't know if I showed you this today or not, but this was the adorable sleigh ride stencil that I just did on this in black chalk paste. I just wanted to show you how cute that stencil is, because when you're just looking at the stencil, you have no idea. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Do you guys, did you like this tree topper idea? Who thinks that they might do it? I'm not sure whether I'll do that or just do the snowflake when it's dry. If you do this project, I'd love to see pictures. Feel free to put those pictures here in these comments so everyone else can see them, or hop over to our crafting group that I set up for all of us to share pictures of our craft projects. It's Dreamy space DIY here on Facebook. So you just go to the search bar here on Facebook and type in the words Dreamy space DIY, DREAMY space DIY. And it should pull up the group. You can ask to join. Be sure to answer the 3 questions, that you'll be nice to each other, because we all want, we all want our crafting affirmed. We want to hear people say, wow, that's great. So be nice. Please don't share other crafters' videos in this group other than mine. This is actually my group. And don't use the group to sell makeup or wreaths or, anything like that. So I hope you'll take pictures if you make a tree topper. I'd love to see, and that you'll share pictures with all of us. All right, if you want to see what I have coming up for the rest of the week, do a this, or say something in the comments, and take 2 seconds to make sure that you've liked and followed DIY Dreaming. Those are the things that Facebook looks at to see who they're going to serve my crafts to. And if you want them to serve it to you, then you want to do a this, or even better, say something in the comments, and then make sure that you've liked and followed and turned on your notifications. So there you go. There's your Facebook lesson for the day. Alrighty, everyone. I will get my whole craft space cleaned up because it's a disaster now. I'll get pictures. I'll put those here in these comments as well as at DIY Dreaming. And I will see you guys later. Thanks for watching. Bye. Oh, and if you want links for the other stuff that I told you about, like the gingerbread house stuff, or this Grateful, Thankful, Blessed, or the leopard or ink, or what else did I show you? Or the Christmas minis and chalk paste. If you want any of those links, just let me know that too, and I'll get them for you so you don't have to go to my website and search around forever. I can give you some direct links. Thank you, Marlene. She says she loves my shirt. I love it too. Alrighty, I'll see you guys later. Have a great rest of your day.